When I first came to Nepal like 28 years ago, I came with an interest to climb the mountains, but I became really interested in all the people that worked to make the climbing industry possible, and in particular, the porters.
मेरो नाम कुमार तामाङ, खोटाङ आइसेलु खर्का गाउँपालिका वडा नम्बर 2 मेरो जन्मस्थान बिस्काममा चाहिँ सोलुखुम्बुमा यसरी बेडिङ बोकेको धेरै वर्ष भयो। पहिला 2052 देखि बोकेको अझै पनि बोकिरहेको छु म।
The porters in the Everest region are the freight carriers. These are the long-haul truckers of the whole Everest industry, the whole mountaineering industry, and for many, many villages in Nepal's remote areas. There's still a big chunk of Nepal that doesn't have road access, and so goods that people need to live are carried by either pack animals or by people. And here in the Everest region, people are still a critical part of the supply chain.
कहिले काहीँ हुन्छ अनि हिँडिरहने बानी भएको मान्छेलाई राम्रै लाग्छ, राम्रै छ, यतिको राम्रै भन्नुपर्छ। पहिला जस्तो साह्रो समस्या छैन, खानु बस्नु राम्रै छ।
Porters are people whose purpose is to move something from point A to point B. And they do it on their back. They'll do it with either a basket, or they'll lash duffel bags together, and they always carry it on their heads with a tump line. I spent some time trying out carrying stuff on a tump line. This is how I kind of got to know porters, is I spent a lot of time just rattling around with them, trying to learn about their lives. And what I learned was carrying with a tump line is actually a really efficient way of doing it. A lot of people ask, does it affect their cervical spine? Does it have long-term health impacts? And from what we've seen, there aren't major studies on this, but it seems like it's actually, not a detractor. It might be a better way of carrying in the end. But what we see in the Everest region, and what strikes me here on this trip in 2026, is how little things have changed since I started advocating for better working conditions, safer working conditions, better wages for porters back in 1999. While the prices have gone up, the amount of money that the porters take home hasn't.
अहिले त यो हाम्रो कम्पनीबाट 1800 मात्रै छ सर। यता बस्तीतिर दाल भात खानु पनि पुग्दैन। खै त अब कम्पनीले रेट बढाउँदैन के गर्नु। यता खानाको बढाउँछन्, सिजनै बिच कम्पनीले रेट बढाउँदैन। यो धेरै पहिलादेखि हाम्रो कम्पनीको रेट देखियो सर। अब हामी यसो अब भारीमा झोलामा सेपरेट खाजा बोकेर यसो दुःख सुख गर्छौँ सर। यसो के हाने दुःखले हिँडेको बचाउनु पर्यो 1-2 पैसा। बिहान दिउँसै खाजा खाने, दिउँसोकै खाना खाने भने पुग्दैन नि सर, तलबले त उल्टो लाग्छ।
So for a porter that's earning 2,000 rupees a day on a trek, here in Dingbashe, they're paying 800 rupees for a plate of dal bhat, which is the food that Nepalis eat. It's dinner. So they have to eat dal bhat twice a day. That's 1,600 rupees. If they want to have breakfast, that's another 400 rupees. If they want to have tea, that's at least another 400 or 500 rupees. Basically, as the porters work their way up the valley, they start losing money on the upper end of the trek. They try to save as much money as they can, but as a group of porters I was speaking with yesterday said to me, if we don't get tips from our clients, we're basically just traveling. And that's something that a lot of people, especially even people who have worked in the Everest region for a long time, don't know. So for a lot of foreigners, I think it's also difficult for us to have a porter carry our stuff. It feels funny, right? Like we want to do it ourselves. We don't want to exploit other people. You see somebody straining under the burden of all the crap you brought that you shouldn't have brought. And I can attest to that. And I think sometimes people feel bad about it. My advice to people coming trekking here is hire as many porters as you can. And don't feel bad about employing these people. Porters all come from the lower valleys below the Everest region. They walk 4 or 5 days to come here to get work because this is the only economic engine in this part of Nepal. The money that they earn on those treks and the money that they get from your tips are what they use to feed their families, to send their kids to school, and to buy essential goods like cooking oil that they can't make at home. So my advice again is go trekking, hire porters, enjoy it, get to know them if you can, but tip them generously and hand the tips directly to the porters. Don't give it through the guide. Make sure that they get it from you. One thing to think about is each season maybe a porter will be able to do 5 treks. There's 2 seasons a year. So your trek is potentially 10% of that porter's income for the entire year. And so being generous can make a huge difference in a very hardworking and a very deserving person's life.
50 वर्षको उमेर भयो र पनि यो दुःखले छोडेको छैन देउस दुःख गरिरहेछौँ के गर्नु गाउँमा बस्ने मान्छे गरिब मान्छे अलिकति निम्न स्थानको मान्छे गाउँमा पनि अब खेतीवाल मान्छे है सर यस्तै छन्